Life is not a highway strewn with flowers. Still it holds a goodly show of bliss. When the sun gives way to April showers, here's the point that you should never miss.
Though April showers may come your way, they bring the flowers that bloom in May. So if it's raining, have no regrets, because it isn't raining when you know it's raining violets. And when you see clouds upon the hills, you soon will see crowds of daffodils. So keep on looking for a bluebird and listening for his song. Whenever April showers come, whenever April showers come along. We ain't got a barrel of money, maybe ragged and funny, but to travel along, singing a song side by side. Oh, we don't know it's coming tomorrow. Maybe it's trouble and sorrow, but to travel along, singing a song side by side. What if the sky should fall just as long as we're together? It really doesn't matter at all. When they've all had their goals and parted, we'll be the same as we started, just to travel along, singing a song side by side.
Sun.
Side by side. Yeah.
Thank you, and good morning. April showers bring May flowers. I like the part about the violets. So welcome to All Souls Unitarian Universalist Church. I think we've got another special service today that I'm glad you're here for. I'm Kate Mason. I'll be your worship host today. And we have Kate Stevens, Reverend Kate Stevens, a flower farmer from Charlemont, speaking today. I know that'll be a nice conversation about, is there anything we can do? And I just want to say this space here was rocking, was vibing, was full. probably 400 people, beyond capacity. No, 400 people were here. We had it just packed, and it was just wonderful. Ken just said that he felt goosebumps a lot through the whole concert. So anyway, feel the vibes here. That was the Pete Fest that was here yesterday before the march to the Commons. So if this is your first time here, you are welcome. And we invite you to sign the guest book in the back if you want to get information, emails weekly. Give us your email address, otherwise don't. And also there are pamphlets, and maybe I could invite folks to who are part of the leadership team to raise their hand, just so you see there is a mighty leadership team here for our little church. So it is a great joy coming together on Sunday mornings, and I want everyone to feel welcome here. So this is where we turn and greet each other. Got a moment or two. So stand up and welcome all. I'll be. Welcome, everybody. Maybe Matt, our fearless tech guy, can introduce who's with us on Zoom.
I will do that, and I'll also share a comment that Gary and Christy shared with us. This morning we have Ellen Blanchette, Gary and Christy, Suzanne Carlson, and Trudy Ralph. And after the song, someone added, "That was so freaking cute." And I just had to share that.
It was so what? Frickin' cute. Gotcha. Good. Okay, let's settle in. Take a moment now. Take a nice deep breath. Be here. Come into this room. Feel the vibes. In the words of Kathleen McTeague, we come together this morning to remind one another to rest for a moment on the forming edge of our lives, to resist the headlong tumble into the next moment until we claim for ourselves awareness and gratitude, taking the time to look into one another's faces and see communion. This house of laughter and silence, memory and hope, is hallowed by our presence together. Let us take time for quiet reflection as we listen to the prelude. Is there a prelude, or are we going to go into something else? Do you have a prelude, or is that done? Prelude?
Sorry.
Or shall we do the hymn?
Yeah, the hymn takes the place of the prelude.
Okay, good.
Okay.
So now in your teal hymnal, number 1015 is the song, "I Know I Can Go On." And our choir, our All Souls pop-up choir, will lead. And now, as Mary comes up and lights our chalice, we can read together the chalice lighting. Life is a gift for which we are grateful. We gather in community to celebrate the glories and the mysteries of this great gift. Thank you, Mary. And now our congregational covenant. And this is our Unitarian Church created this covenant maybe 4 years ago. So every church has their own covenant, and this is what we are striving for as a independent congregation. So I'll get started, and please join me. In this house, we covenant with one another to create a community built on a foundation of love, to work together to promote equality, justice, and peace, accepting responsibility for our individual acts, to stand on the side of love, embracing liberation of the oppressed, and working to end discrimination and unjust privilege, to communicate with kindness and support, and to serve with compassion and commitment, to listen respectfully and value our diversity as a source of our collective strength, to learn and grow together, generously sharing our time, talents, and treasures, and to celebrate the joys of discovery from the wonder of youth to the wisdom of age, to openly share our laughter and our tears, showing reverence for the divine in all that is. And now we'll have an offertory, which is our opportunity to give back to our congregation, to our society here. And if you are visiting for the first time, you are welcome to let the plate pass you by, as you are our guest today. Choir will sing us.
If every woman in the world had her mind set on freedom, and every woman in the world dreamed a sweet dream of peace. If every woman
of every nation, young and old, each generation, held her hands out in the name of love, there would be no more war.
if
Every man in the world had his mind set on freedom. If every brother stood with brother as a witness for peace. If every man of every nation, young and old, each generation, held his hands out in the name of love, there would be no more war. If every leader in the world shared a vision of freedom, if every leader in the world shared a sweet dream of peace, if every leader of every nation worked for justice and liberation, holding hands out in the name of love, there would be no more war. If every nation in the world said a turn towards for freedom, if every nation raised its children in a culture of peace, if all our sons and all our daughters reached in friendship across the waters, refusing to be enemies, there would be no more war. There would be no more war. There would be no
May our donation sustain and strengthen this place, which is sacred to so many of us, this community of memory and hope, for we are now the keepers of that dream. Now it's my great pleasure to invite Kate Stevens, Reverend Kate Stevens, to come up and speak to us.
It's the Kates this morning. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Nice to see you all. And congratulations on the Pete Seeger concert. And I particularly to Sarah, I know, who helped organize it. And I don't know who else did, but it sounds like it. I mean, I went to Boston, and maybe some of the rest of you did, but it sounds like you had your equivalent of Boston right here. Thanks so much. It sounds like it was a full house. All part of it. Thank you all. I'll tell you, Western Mass is well represented wherever we go. Is there anything we can do?
yeah.
Yeah, the answer is yes. And in the next 20 minutes or so, we are going to share some ideas of what that might be. But I wanted to read a reading first from Johanna Macy, who is a teacher and an author and an earth healer and a wise elder. Don't apologize for the sorrow, grief, and rage you feel. It is a measure of your humanity and your maturity. It is a measure of your open hearts. And as your heart breaks open, there will be room for the world to heal. That is what is happening as we see people honestly confronting the sorrows of our time. You don't need to do everything. Do what calls your heart. Effective action comes from love. It is unstoppable, and it is enough. So I'm making a couple of some assumptions as I come here to All Souls. UU Church. First assumption is that you are all a little bit worried or concerned or afraid. Am I right? Is that an okay assumption?
Here, here.
Because if you're not, this sermon really isn't for you. And I'm making another assumption, and that is that we all want to do something. And we all want to do it nonviolently, because there are other ways to resist, and that is to use violence, but that is not what I'm talking about. So I'm also making that assumption. Is there anything we can do? Of course. We can hide our heads in the sand and pretend that everything's going to be okay. We can pretend, we can feel like it's already too late. And some of climate scientists will say that it's already too late. And so thus we can just go sit in our living rooms at our TV sets and eat popcorn and do as one of our presidents say, go shopping. Or we can resist. And maybe we find ourselves doing a little bit of all three of those. A little denial, a little bit of TV watching, and a little bit of resistance. Civil resistance, according to a scholar author, Erica Chenoweth, who is the author of this book called Civil Resistance. And I'm going to refer to her, to them and this several times, so I just brought it with me. Definition of civil resistance is, it's a form of collective action that seeks to affect the political, social, or economic status quo without using violence or the threat of violence. I'm guessing many of you are activists, or have been during your lifetimes. And by activists, I mean you've been contacting your members of Congress, or you've been attending rallies or protests, you've been out on the streets, maybe participated in a strike, maybe even risked arrest. In fact, I want to know if that's true. So I'm just going to ask you, and I'm not what have you done in your whole lifetime, but I want to hear what people have been doing in the last few months, just your own little forms of resistance. I'm actually asking you.
Feeding people.
Feeding people. Amen.
Holding a sign, posting.
Holding signs,
Writing the Congress.
contacting members of Congress. Can't hear. Especially Republicans.
Donating to public citizen.
Donating to public citizen. Thank you. So, singing more singing. What'd you say, Rob?
Writing a my turn.
Writing a my turn in the recorder. Yes.
14 Universalist churches in Western Mass.
All right.
My students tolerance and peace.
So, say.
Teaching my students about kindness.
Teaching students about kindness. What? Reaching out to people, different people. Thinking about why we lost the election. A little analysis.
Asking
Yes,
the higher
Mary.
power for tolerance of those with different struggles.
Helping animals. Amen. So, yep. So, we're doing it, and I want to thank you. I want to thank every single one of you for speaking up to find yourselves swimming against the stream. And that's what we're doing, and there's more and more of us. If you look around, there's more and more salmon or trout, whatever you see swimming upstream. I want to tell you about something that happened to me a few weeks ago. I was at a training for trainers, training for nonviolent civil disobedience trainers and organizers. And there were about 30 of us, and we were in a living room space, not a whole lot of room. And Sandra Boston was with me there. And the one exercise we were asked to do was to cross this space, get to the other side without touching anyone else. And you can do it. Everybody's doing it at the same time, and but it's to get a sense of your space and the space you take up. After we did that once, we went back to our place and then said, okay, we're going to do this again. Now this time you have a buddy. You don't hold hands with the buddy, you don't link arms, but you keep them in your sight. You know where they are. So we cross the rooms, and I'm not with my buddy, but I have a buddy, and I'm kind of perpetually making sure I'm getting through the crowd, not bumping into people, but keeping track of my buddy. And all of a sudden, I was snatched up. I was grabbed and pulled out of the circle. I was terrified. I was pulled out. It was a role play, but I didn't know anything. I wasn't warned ahead of time this was going to happen, and I was pulled out, and I was scared. And later, the facilitator said, how did you feel? And I said, like this. I just got scared. And I said in retrospect, I should have called out or screamed or called for my buddy or something. So why do I tell you about this? For a number of reasons. One, to point out the obvious, and that is that things are different now. All the methods of resistance, look at what happened. I got clipped by a big clipper. I don't know where that came from. Things are different now. The ways we've always gone out on the streets, protested with big crowds or smaller crowds, even if the police might have been there, even if there were counter-protests, we kind of had a sense of what was going to happen. Times are not the same right now. People are getting snatched off the streets. And I'm not naive enough or young enough to think that hasn't always happened. It has happened in this country to mostly people of color or people without homes or immigrants. It's always happened some, but something's different now. It's more obvious, it's more blatant, it's more public. People are being snatched. A tough student was picked up because she'd written a column that suggested that it wasn't great what was happening in Gaza. And in her college paper, she was snatched up, walking away from her job, and taken to a prison in Louisiana. Things are different now. That's one reason I tell the story. Second reason is we might need different logics, different tactics. I should have screamed. I should have yelled. We should remember, maybe we bring whistles, or we just remember that things might happen around us that we are not expecting and are not right. So we may need different tactics. We may need to remember to bring our phones and to record things we see that we're pretty sure are illegal. Thirdly, I tell you the story to remind you and me not to do these actions alone. And I don't mean going out to the Greenfield Common on Saturdays where you're going to know a lot of the people. I mean whenever you travel somewhere to go to some protest, don't go alone. Have at least a partner. On the buses into Boston, we were told we had to have a partner, and we organized by buddies, and then each buddy had another set of buddies. So you had at least 4 people that kind of kept track of you, because there were many, many, many thousands of people in Boston, easy to get lost. And fourthly, I tell you that, and to even do things like write down a phone number, write it on your body if you don't have any other way, just to remember an emergency number or someone back at home you could call. And fourthly, I tell you this odd story about this training, because I think we need to begin doing the work of forming affinity groups now. And I assume everyone knows what affinity groups are, but I have found in other things I've done that people don't always know what an affinity group is. So I'm going to read you one definition. Affinity groups are self-sufficient support systems of about 8 to 12 people. A number of affinity groups may work together towards a common goal in one large action, or one affinity group might conceive of and carry on an action on its own, or affinity groups might remain together for years, continuing to act as a kind of political support system and only occasionally actually going and doing an action. We are doing some work up in West County to organize affinity groups. And if you don't know what West County is, it's the western part of Franklin County. It's up in the hills. And most of these affinity groups are organized by neighborhood, although some are organized by interest, an interest group like climate or immigration. And some were in already established groups that were together for some other reason, and they decided they wanted to be an affinity group for any particular action. They might have been a book group, or they might have been a climate group, or they might have been a church group. Did I say church? You already potentially have built-in affinity groups. I don't know if you do, but it's so obvious that you could, and I will say more about that later. But why is it so important to have affinity groups? The first is what I've already said, is the importance of going to rallies or protests with other people. Yesterday was such a time. There's an estimate that there were 1,200 locations where there were protests yesterday. Can I see just hands of people that went somewhere to stand out with other people? Thank you all so much. And I'll bet you when they counted these 1,200 locations, they forgot to count Greenfield and probably Conway and probably Shelburne Falls. So who knows where people, I saw something about Beluga, Mississippi. The town population was 287, and it looked like they had 287 plus people standing out in a common area. So here you are in a church where you have the potential to do that organizing right here. Because my vision is, why is it so important, besides just not being alone at these settings? My vision is that we are going to be called on to be part of a much larger action or presence or strike in the future. So our affinity group can be a place where we get ready. I want to tell you about an interesting number, and some of you, I'm sure, have heard of this. The number is 3.5%. Does that have any significance to any people out here? 3.5%. In studying nonviolent movements going back 200 years, movements all over the world, Erica Chenoweth, author of this book, and the study is in here in the list of all the struggles that they studied. Erica has concluded through this research that nonviolent protests are twice as likely to succeed as armed conflicts. And those engaging a threshold of 3.5% of the population have never failed to bring about change. This means not just 3.5% of the population calling members of Congress, though that's good, or going to a 3-hour protest, though that's good, but 11 million, because that's what 3.5% of the US population is, 11 million people engaging in some action, like a strike, like a large occupation or demonstration, and going, not just attending something, but moving in, like at least a 5-day occupation. That's what's considered active involvement. And then we'll bring about change. I'm just going to say I'm guessing that 1 million people were out yesterday, so we're getting there. So when there's a call for 3.5% of the population to react, we need to be ready. We need our group, we need our pod, we need our buddies, we need our action agreements so that we all know that we're on the same page, that we all support nonviolence, or we all support no damage to property, whatever we agree on as a group. We've made those agreements. We know each other. We need to know each other's strengths and gifts and weaknesses and vulnerabilities so that when we're with someone, we know where they need support. And doing all that work is preparing for we know not what. We know not what we're preparing for. And I think you can see it day by day by day. It's the way things are going, it's so that we don't know what we're preparing for. But we are preparing. So we want to be ready. In the meantime, as we put together our affinity groups, we have to do what we can, where we are, with the people we live with. We could take Know Your Rights trainings that we could then share with immigrants and others who are going to be out on the streets. We can take de-escalation trainings or nonviolent civil resistance trainings. We might join a rapid response network to try to protect our immigrant friends, and there is already a group like that in Greenfield, and ask me if you don't know about that. We might commit to calling our members of Congress daily for a month. We might begin to write letters to the editors, and my turn. Or we might call our immediate neighbors in for tea to know them better and to learn what their concerns are, knowing their concerns may be quite different than ours. We need each other, and doing something is so much better than being alone and afraid. I want to read two things that I read about this morning that were talking a little bit about what happened yesterday in this country. The first is by a man named Tim Longman. He said, "A big part of why I am going to today's protest is not the impact it will have on policy, but the impact I need it to have on me. I've been feeling angry and frustrated and isolated, and I'm hoping being around like-minded people will be empowering and sustaining." And the second quotation is from Erica Chenoweth. Erica wrote yesterday, "The two common misconceptions are on my mind today. The first one is overestimating the power of a single day of protest. The second one is underestimating the power of a single day of protest." And Mahatma Gandhi said to us, "Whatever you do in life will be insignificant, but it is important you do it because no one else will." You here at All Souls are in a great position to act. You have community already. You have a commitment to social justice. I see it every day. You have history together. You have strengths needed for this work, and you have enough gifts for this work that you have learned to share them with others and could do it even more. So I want to leave you with one image. You may have seen it in last week's paper. It's written by Allison Cornish, who is a UU minister and I think has preached here before. And this was in our Greenfield recorder, but I loved this image and wanted to share it. The image is the image of an egg which is stone-like, independent. But what is happening is this egg, looking completely self-sufficient, which it is, a chick grows inside the egg and grows by eating the yolk. But when they run out of yolk, what has become a shelter for them all of a sudden is a prison. There is nothing left. But you know what is left? Carbon dioxide. And so now they're in this prison, and they have to do something that they have never done before. They have to learn some trick that they've never used before. This transition a chick experiences from consuming the yolk to the first pecking is triggered by carbon dioxide. Are you getting the image here of us on this self-sustaining planet, where it's becoming less of a shelter and maybe more of a prison full of carbon dioxide? When this building up of carbon dioxide inside the eggshell causes, this is the amazing part, causes a twitch in the powerful hatching muscle on the back of a chicken's neck. And when it gets triggered, you can know the way chickens move, that muscle twitches and their beaks begin to peck and break their way out. Is that a metaphor for us and our world? So, friends, what we need to be doing is what? Developing our hatching muscles and begin pecking wherever we can peck, in whatever direction we can peck, in order to bring about our liberation, and thus the liberation of the whole world. I'm with you. Happy pecking. Blessings to all of you. Let us continue our worship by singing hymn number 305, De Calores. Is the choir joining us?
Stand if you'd like to. Sing loudly.
Ready and all the colors, yes, the colors we see in the springtime with all of its flowers. All the colors, when the sunlight shines out through the rift in the cloud and it showers. All the colors, as a rainbow appears when a storm cloud is touched by the sun. All the colors abound for the whole world around and for everyone under the sun. All the colors abound for the whole world around and for everyone under the sun. All the colors, yes, the colors of people parading on by with their banners. All the colors, yes, the colors of parents and streamers and blooms and bandanas. All the colors, yes, the colors of people now taking their place in the sun. All the colors abound for the whole world around and for everyone under the sun. All the colors abound for the whole world around and for everyone under the sun. Let's hear it. All the colors, yes, the black and the white and the red and the brown and the yellow. All the colors of people who smile and shake hands and say hello. All the colors, yes, the colors of people that know that their freedom is won. All the colors of God who will hold us together for everyone under the sun. Y por esos los grandes amores de muchos colores conocerás hoy. De colores se visten los campos en la primavera. De colores son los pajaritos que vienen de fuera. De colores es el arco iris que vemos lucir. Y por esos los grandes amores de muchos colores me gustan a mí. Y por esos los grandes amores de muchos colores me gustan a
Well, here we are. So now is our time for lighting candles of joy and sorrow. So if you have a sorrow that needs the help of this community, this is a time to speak it. If this is a joy that you want to share, please, a mic will be brought to you. And we invite you to share these. Of course, it's not a time for announcements. Speaking from your heart is what we want. We will have time for announcements later. And we especially want to invite folks who are visiting here for the first or second time to introduce themselves and be welcomed. So now is the time for welcoming visitors and sharing joys and sorrows.
My name is Sarah from Shelburne Falls, and I'm here just in gratitude to this church for the Pete Seeger event. But I want to share my spiritual belief is in the non-ordinary. And so as I'm sitting here, I'm wishing for all the energy that was gathered to be imprinted into the ground and into this church, so it's a whole gift to the church. So if you like, in your own imagination and heart, to just imprint all that love to be given to this congregation and the land here. Thank you.
Hello, my name's Daniel. I was here yesterday. That's how I found out about the service today.
Welcome, Daniel.
I'm from Vermont. My mom and dad are coming back from Florida next week. 85, 87. I was at Pete Seeger's last concert. Carnegie Hall with Artwood Guthrie. I took my son. But when I came here yesterday and felt the vibes and the people, that's why I'm here today. I'm hoping to be moving into this area, and this will be one of the places I'll be very often. Thank you.
Welcome.
Hi, I'm Cassie Walker. I was a member a while back, and I've been just through one thing and another meaning to come back, and I'm so glad I'm here. This place. It didn't really need to be super energized by Pete Seeger. It was already here, but it never hurts to have more. Thank you.
Good morning, church. Let me see. I have to bring a sorrow forward. I just got a notice today that Holly Near has canceled her tour for April due to illness. She's been very sick. And, I've known her since she was maybe 19, the first time she came, and she's done so much for the world with her song and her standing. And so I want to hold her in healing thought and prayer. And a joy to be part of Pete Seeger's event yesterday, all the people that came, the people that sang. I thought I was in heaven. There were so many people singing. It was fabulous, and I want to thank especially Sarah Pirtle and the group that Sarah's so humble put this event together, and it was a wonderful thing. I was grateful to be part of it.
Good morning. My name's Andrew, and I just want to share a joy that a couple of weeks ago, one of my neighbors, a young person, stepped forward and volunteered to join the sewer commission in Shelburne. To join the sewer commission in Shelburne. And now that might sound odd to you, but I've been on the sewer commission for over 7 years, and I've been waiting for somebody to join me to fill that empty seat. And so there's a lot of opportunity in our small towns to make community work well. And you could say that democracy starts from the ground up, but I know that it actually starts from under the ground up. So take those opportunities to make democracy and build community together.
My name's Dick, and
Press the button. Just give it a second. The button's it's in a really hard place, and people touch it all the time and turn the mic off. There you go.
okay.
Yay, Dick. Well, hooray.
My name's Dick Hall, and first I want to have deep sorrow for the people in South Sudan that are being sent back to a starving nation. And my hope is that people can join me next Sunday and just not eat next Sunday as an internal protest against the atrocity of sending people back to a starving nation while we sit here like sheep and let it happen.
Where will you be on Sunday? Wait a minute.
So my name's Pam.
Just do it.
Okay.
I say, as an adult, you don't have to gather anything anywhere. Just have the fortitude to do it yourself.
So my name's Pam, and I've been, trying to connect the UU churches in Western Mass, which some of the people who are here have heard too many times already. But we have some good ones, like David Reutman in Northampton is doing the central job and has been for like 4 years now, and connecting us for democracy work. So it does help to get to know who's doing what, and we have some great things happening. Now, what I wanted to bring up today, though, in a short order, is that I am looking for young people who want to appear as forest trees with the backing of the best scientist we know, who was the former head and founder of the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. Mm-hmm. And Pam, we need about 20. Is that right, Kate? 20 people we could use just today.
Okay.
But we need some ongoing people who want to go to UU churches, go up the aisles as trees and represent an entire forest and preach. So if we can capture your imagination, and you know some young people who are bold, will be disguised as a tree, and will go up the UU church things. I've got 14 churches to ask. Let me know.
I'll try to find a Joy in there somewhere. That was an announcement. Let's try to not have those right now. Let's keep the space of sharing joys, sorrows. Okay.
Just piggybacking on what Dick was saying, I'm in the rallies all the time, and there have been very few people of color, and they're afraid. They're afraid to, like, we had people yanked from UMass, everywhere. I only saw one person of color yesterday down in Greenfield Common. So it's not enough to just be aware, but really be aware and see what we can do. So if they need our help and there's a way that we can help, let's help.
I forgot one thing. You may or may not know that the trees are like the pecking birds. They're actually sucking the carbon dioxide out of the atmosphere and concentrating it into the soil, where it stays put, because there are fungi underground that are benefiting from the sugars, etc.
Hi, I'm Ellen. This is a sorrow. I lost a friend a while ago. He was, in many ways, my best friend. We met in the 1970s when he was working as doing work study in the child care center in the Kingsborough Community College, and my son was there. My son was 3, and now my son is going to be 54 this year, so that gives you perspective. We both lived in Brighton Beach, and we spent many, many years talking and walking together. And he was in the hospital over Thanksgiving. He had fallen in his bathtub and apparently had many, many injuries that were very serious because he was in the hospital a very long time. But I thought he was getting better. And I was going to try to see him over Thanksgiving because I was in New York. And he was moving into rehab and I couldn't visit. And then I came home and I don't know what happened, but we didn't talk after that. And then I found out actually on Facebook, which is a hell of a way to find out, that he actually had died in February. So I just found out a couple of weeks ago. And it's been really hard to think about Jerry gone because he's been in my heart and my life for so long. But he was a really good person. And he did a lot of good, including teaching kindergarten, which I could never do because they're little and they cry and stuff. So I just want you to hold his memory in your heart for me. Thank you.
Hello. My name's Karen Schaefer, and I want to thank Kate Stevens for telling me what I should do. I think I had started a whisper campaign about this, and self-evident, but now I'm going to do it the right way. And it's about what's happening in Haiti. In 1802, when they had their revolution and became free, all the slave-owning countries would not deal with them because they didn't want to encourage their own slaves. And that was almost everyone. And now I think they need to do, rather than sending in a peacekeeping mission through the UN, what we need to do is rebuild the country. We need to fertilize it, build affordable housing, whatever that it takes. I have a very good friend who is Haitian, Evelyn Delber, and when I told her I had read about this freedom soup jumu, and she said, "Who told you about soup jumu, which is freedom soup?" And that one of the things that there was a special squash that was more valuable, and for the first time, the Haitians could then make the soup from that there. But we need to, and I thank Kate Stevens. I'm not going to tell people quietly my idea about we need to pay reparations to Haiti and rebuild the country. And yeah, okay.
Thanks.
So thank you.
Thanks. How about anybody on Zoom? We'll come back to you. Let's just see who's online. We will definitely come back to you. Go ahead.
Sure, we have one joy to share, and this is from Christy. She offers such a huge joy to be in the overflowing building yesterday and to be part of the concert with all of its energy and emotion.
Thank you. Thanks, Rocky.
My name is Ken. I was here last night. It was amazing. But as I'm also sitting here, I have a loss. my partner, we attended a Unitarian church up in New Hampshire, Joys and Concerns. She became a minister, and in her church, she had Joys and Concerns. And I get to, she left a poem that says, "On one crisp autumn day, you taught me that there would still be rainbows in my life and northern lights exploding in the midnight sky. How bittersweet then, this new lesson you tried to teach about living in yesterday's rainbows. And now I get to live in yesterday's rainbows by missing her."
What's her name?
Carol.
Thank you, Ken, and welcome.
Hi, I'm Sandra, and I just want to light a candle of thanksgiving to Cory Booker. And I loved last night when they added a verse to a song. Thank you, Cory Booker, for his gift to this country and to our vision of who we want to be. And I heard an interview with him where he said that he fasted for 2 days before the event, and he prayed, and he called on the old gospel hymns for power to sustain him. So he's a witness for us of the power of Spirit.
Wow, lots of voices today.
Hi, I'm Rob Peck. Thanks to your service, Kate. I'll never think of my last name the same again. I'm wanting to celebrate a different kind of way of doing political activism. It's simple kindness. And when I walked in, it was really crowded. It was hard to find a seat. And a man who I didn't even know said, "You know, this chair right here is available." And I thanked him. And I was taking off my heavy jacket. And he said, "Here, let me help you." And he helped me take my jacket off. And then he very neatly sort of arranged the jacket on the back of the chair. And those little things that we can do for each other, they can make a big difference and make a dog bark. And I'm so glad, Ken, that you're here today, and I can share this with everybody, because when I went home, as touched as I was by all the Pete Seeger celebrations, Annie's beautiful banner, and many, many reasons to rejoice, it was that little act of kindness that really stayed with me.
I am Kate, and I would like to light a candle of love and concern for Marilyn Christian, who is on comfort measures down at Bay State Hospital in Springfield. Bonnie, her daughter, is at her bedside. She's in our hearts.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Robin. I just remembered actually that I have a sorrow, which is that a lovely young woman who lives in Greenfield, who has been my dog walker, and just a lovely person, has let me know that she is losing her battle with cancer. And I'm not feeling comfortable saying her name because I don't know if that's okay. But just wanted to mention that. And a joy is that although I didn't get here in time to get into the Pete Seeger concert, because I had been standing out in the rain in Northampton holding a sign and then did some shopping afterward, I was standing outside with all the people who couldn't get in. And people were like, "Oh, maybe people will come out and then they'll let us in." I'm like, "No, they're not coming out." They came to see the concert. So I went down to the Common with my sign and stood in the rain some more. And there were some lovely young girls that were standing there holding a sign about the climate and climate research, and it was a really good experience. So although I'm sad that I missed the music, I still got to have more joy. And a sorrow I will share is just seeing a picture someone posted of the detainees in the El Salvadoran prison next to a picture of
prisoners in the Holocaust and the concentration camp, and something broke inside of me. It's looks exactly the same. So it's just horrific. I just needed to share that.
Hello. I just wanted to introduce myself. I'm Lulu, and I just moved here on Monday to Greenfield. And I was able to catch some of the end of the Pete Seeger concert yesterday, and also did some work with Stone Soup in the basement. So I'm very happy to be here with you all today, and very excited to be a part of this community.
Welcome, Lulu.
I'm Leslie. I'm the UU and multi-faith chaplain at Mount Holyoke College, and it's wonderful to be here again. I just wanted to lift up, I also work at UMass, and I wanted to lift up the international students who've lost their visas, and some who we've heard about and many more who we haven't. The rapid response networks are really important. So I would just encourage you to think about how you can stand up and be there with them.
Thank you. Wow. Yeah, all the way in the back. While he's walking, you may notice that we're very fluid here. And so I'm Kirsten Levitt. I'm one of the members of the congregation. And Kate was like, can you do joys and sorrows? Here I am. Go right ahead.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Clay. This is my first time here, and Spirit moved me to come in this morning. And I thank you, everyone, for the sense of community and congregation. I have a joy and a sorrow. A year ago today, my younger sister, passed away from an unexpected heart attack. And in her memory, today I celebrate a year sober. So I just wanted to say thank you to everyone for being here this morning.
Welcome, Clay. Thank you. Rob, you going for a tooth?
I couldn't forgive myself if I left this out. As wonderful as all the music was on stage, I really want to give a sincere shout out to the man behind the sound who made all that happen. Matt, for all of you, the hardest working man in show business, and here today too.
Thank you for doing that. Appreciate that, Rob. Okay, friends, how about you ground yourselves, center yourselves, give yourself just a few minutes to take in this enormous amount of information. Just have a few moments of silence. Now I'm going to ask you to do something else, which you do naturally, and I think Dick was kind of alluding to it. I want you to hold your hands up, and I want you to feel the energy in this room bounce into your hands. I can feel you, and you should be able to feel me and one another. Spirit of community in which we share and find strength and common purpose. Let us lift our voices high to march into democracy, to ambassador the new ones, to be activists, to go forward boldly and bravely, to support those who are not able to show up right now, to be able to show up, to share the light, to hold and guide one another, to ensure that our voices are lifted, the music is singing, and the vibe is good. Let us be a place within ourselves, not just in these walls, a place of welcoming, a place of understanding that we each have power and choice, that we know what our path is, that we can pray and find power in any way we possibly need to, want to, or believe to. And that we are able to walk with one another, holding each other, being each other's buddies, and ensuring that we are not alone. May we hold in our hearts those who are suffering from grief, those who are remembering milestones, those who are losing battles and passing into the next realm, those who are returning home after being away. Those who continue on in our memories and last forever, and whose lessons we will take and use in our lives. Let us open ourselves to all of this and more, for the world feels impossible, and yet we can hold it, for each of us are powerful. Let us be in a place to welcome in the quiet, gentle healing and the soft, gentle coming of love. May it be so. Blessed be, and amen. Now, in the front of your hymnal is this little insert called Prayer to Friends, and we stay seated and we sing it.
Day I bring my life, born of hope, born of sun, bringing joy where others strive. All I have, all I
The world is too beautiful to be praised by only one voice. May you have the courage to sing your part. The world is too broken to be healed by only one set of hands. May you have the courage to use your gifts. Go in peace, create peace, be peace. And now we're going to have a reprise of April Showers, and feel free to sing along. Oh no, wait, Kate has something.
No problem. You are the best, Shearson. Just a reminder, don't apologize for the sorrow, grief, and rage you feel. It is a measure of your humanity and your maturity. It is a measure of your open hearts, and as your heart breaks open, there will be room for the world to heal. That is what is happening as we see people honestly confronting the sorrows of our time. You don't need to do everything. Do what calls your heart. Effective action comes from love. It is unstoppable, and it is enough.
April Showers, and I think you all have a copy. Okay. Just sing with the congregation, okay? Life is not a highway strewn with flowers. Still, it holds a goodly share of bliss. when the sun gives way to April showers. Here's the point you should never miss. Though April showers may come your way, they bring the flowers that bloom in May. So if it's raining, have no regrets, because it isn't raining rain, you know it's raining violets. And when you see clouds up on the hills, you soon will see crowds of daffodils. So keep on looking for a bluebird and listening for its song. Whenever April showers come
A brief moment for announcements. Here's my bluebird. So, I've got a couple of announcements and then it'll be time, and we're going to make these really quick because my first announcement is we have a potluck lunch downstairs, and I hope you will come down. Don't worry if you didn't bring any food. We'll make it work. And also, very exciting, this is our All Souls 200th anniversary book, hot off the press. We have paperback and hardcover, and so I invite you to buy them or take a look at them downstairs. I think you'll want to buy it. Anybody? Any other announcements? I've got a bunch of tree puppets that are going to be used on Earth Day, April 21st. We're going to have a parade from the Commons down to Energy Park. Interfaith Council and City of Greenfield are having a big big Earth Day party, but the parade with the expandable brass band and puppets are going to be the first part of the day, so noon on the 21st. Anyway, I think that's my announcement.
Hi, my name's Russ. I was trying to greet people in the entryway. If you're here for the first time, we have a guest book on the stand on the entryway. We'd really love it if you'd put your name in there. If you'd like to hear from us in the future, leave some contact information. But if you don't want to, don't bother. But we'd love to see the names, all the names of people who've come here. And by the way, in addition to the fact that last night, and I've been here for over 25 years, I've never seen so many people in this building, probably over legal capacity, but also today, I keep count of folks who come to services, and there's more people here this morning than we've had for any other service so far this year, so thank you.
Thank you, Kate.
So I just asked our IT person, if you weren't able to attend yesterday, it was simulcasted, live streamed, and if you have a friend that can help you get to it, there's a way to watch it.
Just on the regular YouTube channel? Yeah, so it's Franklin County UUs on YouTube. So just look up Franklin County UUs, and you'll see all of the services. You can watch Kate sermonize again. you can watch the service. I mean, the party that we had last night. Any other announcements? And please come downstairs for what you call it?
Hi. I'm announcing something else, sorry. Hello. We heard mention of affinity groups, and I just wanted to say that I am offering to facilitate an affinity group here at this church. I don't know exactly when, but I have brought it to the Social Justice Committee. I haven't heard back, but I'm hoping it can be, maybe at some period of time after a service on a Sunday, that those who want to stay and talk about things that you do in an affinity group, including what actions we might want to take as a group, I'm willing to facilitate that.
Just one PS on Kate's announcement. The 21st is actually not Earth Day. It's Patriots Day. Yes, we're celebrating, it's Greenfield's Earth Day, but the rest of the world is a holiday. Everybody has off.
Yeah, it's a...
Hello, I'm Maria, and I just wanted to remind people that we are opening the church to create a beloved community beyond the binary. On April 26th, we'll have a day from 8:30 to 3 or 4 in the afternoon in collaboration with Syracuse. We will be talking about transgender, LGBTQ, and the rest, and inviting them to create a safe space here in our church. And also after that, on the same day, on April 26th, there's going to be a wonderful concert with Owen Kennedy and Fiery Hope. Hope you're there.
So, speaking of affinity groups, there's a wonderful one that's been forming and has already done some pretty cool things in town. It's called Resilient Greenfield. Our whole mission is basically to promote mutual aid through various volunteer opportunities, to look at local issues, but also to think big picture and work around climate. So if any of that appeals to you, next Sunday there'll be a meeting at 5. Just come and speak to me and I can tell you a bit more about it. Even if you don't come to the meeting, please just keep your eyes and ears open for Resilient Greenfield.
Thank you. And chat, but